ball spark. You want good words? Data language.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Count with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
Back to school to prove to Dad that I'm not a fool. I got my lunch packed up, my boots tied tight. I hope I don't get in a fight. Oh, back to school, back to school, back to school.
That's right. Back to school time for the kiddos, at least in Canute and Merritt today. Welcome into the Skinny on Sports. Jared sitting in for Aaron today. I got Scotty G. It is a Garrison Financial Friday here on the Skinny on Sports. Thanks for tuning on in, and congratulations, parents. You got through another summer. Now the kids are back at school, and you just thought it was going to get easier. Now all the other stuff happens. Like, I need money for a field trip. I need this. Yeah. I got to get a textbook for that. But it's been a day. Scotty, I've been awake since, like, can you tell I've had like 3 cups of coffee? I've been awake since like 5:15. Because I promised my girls I'd make them breakfast, and I made them.
What a dad.
I made them pancakes, bacon, and eggs, all on the griddle this morning, which was actually kind of nice, watching the sun come up, flipping some flapjacks. It's been a good day so far. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I am doing great.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's,
so,
you know.
I mean, football's here.
Football's back.
Did you watch last night?
I watched a little bit, yeah.
I was entertained. I didn't think I would be. I thought, who cares? Hall of Fame game is always cool. It is cool, the interviews that they do.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy that. They make it watchable as far as off-the-field stuff, and that's what it's about. It's but game itself, not bad. I don't care who was throwing it and who was running it and who was tackling it. I just thought it wasn't bad football, and it was fun all the way to the last play of the game. I loved it. I was really hoping like it would not go to overtime, because then I thought, I think in a game like that, I think any preseason game, if there's a tie, it's a tie.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean a hill of beans to play more.
What's the point? And
possibly injuring somebody. So just call it good. But I'm glad that Carolina went for it. Haynes King diving into the end zone.
See, I didn't see the end. I was,
it was great.
I was in bed
They
by the end.
They could have tied it. It was like 2 seconds left. They were on the 4. They could have tied it with the field goal. Carolina says, nah, we're going to go for it. If he gets tackled short, game's over. If he gets or whatever, and he rolled out to the right, kind of scrambled, dove on. He led him all the way down the field in that drive. He looked actually pretty sharp. But point is, I was entertained.
Yeah, it was great.
Entertained watching a preseason football game. And, I mean, if that doesn't get you excited for football, I mean, it's nice, to turn on the TV on a Thursday night in early August and go, okay, we got football. And now we'll have football in some form or fashion every weekend between now and Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you can call the all-star flag football game a football, but it involves a football. So buckle up, wives, because you won't hear much from your husbands in the next in the next few weeks. So I was entertained with it. What's going on?
I'm sorry. I've got a client.
Hey, you're fine.
Texting me. They've got some questions, so I'm trying to.
You're important what you do with your full financial planning, and the market's been kind of. It's been good, right?
Yeah, it's been very good. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been good because of what's happening in the Middle East.
A lot of opportunities. There's just watching for opportunities, constantly watching for opportunities. That's what we're always wanting.
That's what you do.
But I just let my client know, hey, I'm hooked up for the next 30 minutes. But I thought it was great. Tomlin, when they spoke with Tomlin during the game, I thought that was pretty interesting. Him talking about Roethlisberger coming over to the sidelines with his nose crooked and
I missed that interview.
Oh, did you miss that?
So what was said?
Chris, what's his name? Collinsworth, yeah, said that one of his favorite games, he saw Roethlisberger running over to the sidelines, and his nose was basically in 3 parts.
I think I remember that game.
And so they were. He ran over to Tomlin and said, "Hey, how's my nose look?" And Tomlin said, "Oh, I don't want to look at you." And so he went into the tent and they straightened it back out. A couple of plays later, just runs right back in.
Wow.
Right back into it,
Wow.
It's fun hearing those guys tell stories about that. But the shocker to me was Luke Kuechly getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. I did not think. I mean,
you're clearly way older than me.
Wow.
But I don't think I probably heard in passing who the class was going to be, but it's not really till Hall of Fame weekend you see the guys and you see them in the some guys are like, I don't know who that guy was, but then they start talking about what they've done. Like who was a wide receiver from San Francisco, played 11 seasons.
Was now
played 11 seasons, and he to look up the class. In all 11 seasons he played, he made the playoffs. And I look at his numbers, but I'm gonna look it up. I'm ill prepared today.
But Luke Kuechly, I loved him when he was playing. He just had such a short career.
Yeah.
So, Roger Craig.
Yes.
Yeah, Roger Craig was great.
Running back,
yeah.
not a wide receiver. Running back. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 49ers. First player to record 1,000 yards and 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving in a single season.
Yeah, it's just that Jerry Rice was out there on the outside.
Yeah. Jerry Rice overshadowed a lot of people when Jerry Rice was there. Yeah. But what my point was, when you have – so I distinctly remember Drew Brees at Purdue.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
Kind of the same time as Heupel at OU. Larry Fitzgerald. I remember him at Pitt.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people saying he should have won the Heisman over Jason White. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, now they're Hall of Fame. Now they're eligible. Yeah. Now they're Hall of Fame guys in the NFL.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Kind of makes you feel old. Adam Vinatieri.
Yeah.
I think that's well-deserved.
Absolutely.
A kicker, but
yeah,
very good kicker. Big, some of the most famous kicks in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. And always clutch.
Always clutch.
Always was.
You knew you lost if he was going in the kick the last year.
It was just,
that's it.
Game's over.
They don't even have to move the ball that far. That dude had a missile of a leg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's a good class. I'm not knocking the class by any means. But
it was.
Yeah.
But, I remember watching Kuechly a lot, and I mean, I was a huge fan. He just had such a short career. They said 8 years he played. So that was kind of surprising for me. But
he did record over 100 tackles every year.
That's pretty outstanding.
Was named Defensive Player of the Year. I can't remember what year. It doesn't say it here. But 100 tackles every year, that's production.
Yeah.
That's production. And that's when that dominant that Carolina defense was dominant. He anchored it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't feel like he had a long career like some of these guys has. Like Larry Fitzgerald, obviously. I mean, that dude.
Well, and he could have played 5 more.
I'm telling you what, he felt like he could.
He was the best receiver. I thought he was still the best receiver in the league when he went out.
17 seasons with all with the Cardinals. That's kind of admirable too.
Yeah,
stayed with the Cardinals the entire time, ranking second in the NFL history with over 1,400 receptions and just under 18,000 receiving yards.
Wow.
Second to probably Jerry Rice, or he was, I don't know who's number one. And, of course, Drew Brees, 20 seasons for the Chargers and Saints, won the Super Bowl, finishing second all-time in passing yards, over 80,000, and second all-time in touchdowns thrown, 571. No one's going to scoff at that. No one's going to argue that. No, it's a good class.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great game last night. I'm just glad it was a great game it was something to watch. And it wasn't And sure, there's guys playing for, and that's what's kind of cool about preseason games. There are guys playing for jobs. There are guys playing for spots on these teams. Sometimes that leads to really cool moments and really cool and hard athletic plays. Sometimes it just leads to bad football.
Yeah.
Because they're overdoing it. They're trying too hard to get seen and get noticed. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But there was some stuff last night. I thought, man, that was a great catch. That was a great tackle. That was a fun game. I was entertained, as they say. So,
yep.
I'm ready for some football. Do you see the big deal yesterday? Jamar Gibbs.
If it's sports, I have not seen it.
Okay.
I mean, I have been hooked up. So.
Well, it is money wise, so we'll talk about this.
Okay.
Lions running back Jamar Gibbs. He agreed to a 3-year, $67.5 million extension. It's going to make him the highest paid running back right now.
Wow.
The highest paid running back in history, in NFL history.
Wow, a little over $22 million a year. That's pretty good.
So they love Jamar Gibbs. Trying to figure out how old he is. He's still fairly young.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's pretty young. He hadn't been in the league very long. But that's I don't know if
Bijan Robinson got a deal.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to make Jamar Gibbs my number one, the highest paid running back in the league. I don't know that that's the wisest.
You'd think someone like Saquon Barkley, would get that, or I don't know. Do we trust McCaffrey with his health?
Yeah, McCaffrey's hurt all the time.
Is he kind of on? Is it too late to give him a deal like that for where he's at in his career? But Gibbs, I mean, he's silently been very productive.
Yeah,
and probably a big reason why Detroit has been better, way better than. I mean, you used to think Detroit. You thought that's your guaranteed win on Thanksgiving. Whoever you're playing Detroit, but now they're good. So they clearly like him. And then, it's a mark. It's just crazy because we always talk about the shelf life of a running back. And is it worth money like this? Bijan Robinson also got a deal, I think it was this week, in Atlanta. Jonathan Taylor's getting paid an average $22 million a year. I don't know how long his contract is. Of course, Saquon at $20.6 million.
Yeah, and then, you watch a team like my Steelers that refuses to pay any running back. I mean,
maybe they believe that the market or the shelf life of a running back is not worth that money.
They definitely prescribe to that medicine. Yeah,
maybe they're saving their money to pay Baker next year.
Yeah, hey, sounds good to me. I'm ready for that.
Baker's so interesting. I can't wait to see what he looks like this year. With that chip on his shoulder, that he's mad at his own ownership, his own GM, wanting to go out there and prove the guys in the skybox wrong. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Have you been watching? If you haven't, I suggest you do the quarterback series. I think it's called Quarterback.
I've watched some. I haven't gotten to watch a lot of it, but I have watched a little.
He's featured on that. And honestly, what I've been doing, like, I'll watch him, and then they'll shift to another quarterback. I just fast forward. Yeah. I just wanted to see Baker's
see what his story is all about.
I knew he was banged up last year. I didn't realize how banged up he was and how much he played through, which kind of maybe explained kind of the rocky season they had.
The second half of the season was pretty rough.
Yeah, they're at the end, though. They still had a chance to win. They needed help, I believe. Mm-hmm. But now, if he can stay healthy,
they wouldn't have had a chance to win if he hadn't. If it weren't for the way he played the first half of the season, they wouldn't have had a chance to be in the running in the second half of the season. So, and part of the reason why he was so beat up was because he had to play so physical in the first half. I mean, their offensive line did not play well for him last year.
No. But a healthy Baker Mayfield is clearly way, way better he's always been criticized coming in to his size and his attitude. I think he's matured. But now a mature.
But I think a lot of people kind of discounted him because of his style, because of his aggressive style, and that he played, hard-nosed football instead of being the quarterback and taking a sack when they wanted to take a sack or throwing it out of bounds, taking a check down. It's just not his style. It's not what he's always done, and it's not how he wins. So It'll be interesting to see what kind of a season he has. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
You can't tell me that he wouldn't love to go back that he wouldn't love to go to Pittsburgh and get to play Cleveland twice a year.
Oh, he'd love
it. You know he would welcome that opportunity.
He would love it. So, looking at their schedule, they start at Cincinnati, and then speaking of Cleveland, they host Cleveland, host Vikings, host Packers, then at Dallas, they host the Steelers, which might be an audition for them. At Carolina, Falcons, at Bears, at Detroit, of course Carolina again, Chargers, at Ravens, Saints, Falcons, Rams, Saints.
Wow.
That looks like a tough schedule.
Yeah, it does.
But it's Baker. I mean, even when his fans start to doubt him, he always finds a way to silence the critics.
Mm-hmm.
Big year for Baker. Big year for Baker.
Yeah, I'm excited. What's your over under for your Cowboys?
Well, contingent on health, clearly.
Here it comes. I mean, my gosh, listen.
It didn't help CeeDee Lamb was out. I've been if you've listened to me, and speaking of Baker, I don't think it's good that they've lost Mike Evans, because I think a really good
absolutely
wide receiver
makes a massive difference.
When you could trust, I could throw it up to that guy, and he can get it. CeeDee is kind of that guy. You know, he runs routes so well. When he wasn't 100% on that ankle and couldn't run routes or couldn't play, took something away from Prescott. And, you know, even with that being said, Prescott at one point was still in that MVP conversation just for the statistics alone.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, again, health is a thing. It sounds like George Pickens, even on this kind of weird offseason, he's saying all the right things at camp. Like, yeah, I want to be here. I want to play. And we'll see how long that attitude stays positive. If they don't win a few, if he doesn't feel like he's getting targeted enough, I'm sure you know this, but about George Pickens.
Oh, yeah.
How he can react.
Oh, yeah.
Over under, what does Vegas think over under is? That's a great question.
Couldn't tell you.
Let's search the Google machine. It's 9.5.
9.5. So right in the middle of the road is what they're predicting.
9.5
for your Cowboys.
Do you think 9 wins is a playoff team? Depends who the 9 are against, obviously.
Yeah, 9 wins is going to be pretty tough to be a playoff team. 9 wins used to, you were guaranteed to be in the playoffs. But now that they're at 17,
season,
now that they're a longer season, I don't know. We shall see. I mean, you're definitely in one of the toughest divisions in all of football, and it just got tougher. I mean, the Giants. There's a lot of people talking about the Giants.
I like the Giants. I think they've upgraded at coach. I think they have found a quarterback in Jackson Dart. I said at the beginning of last year he should have been the starter from day one.
Yeah,
take his early lumps, but stick with him, build around him, because I think he's a pro quarterback. And now they got a pro coach.
Yeah,
they do. So I like the Giants. I like Commanders again. Jaden Daniels, if he's healthy, we saw his rookie year was awesome. Got banged up last year, and then of course the Eagles.
Yep,
it is a tough division. It used to be just kind of a joke of a division.
It used to be
one
a cupcake,
team was always up on top, whether it be the Eagles or Dallas. You know, almost every year you could flip flop them because it was hard to win the division 2 years in a row. But now it's like you better be ready every division game. Yeah. 9.5. That's what Vegas thinks. I might go over that. If Dak can produce like he did last year, and that defense was horrible, and they addressed it in the draft. They went and got Caleb Downs, who I was screaming to get. He was my favorite guy going into the draft. And so I was so happy when I saw that draft was shaking out. I thought, there's a chance here Dallas could get him. And Dallas has always drafted well. I mean, you could say what you want about Jerry. He's always been able to draft well.
Early rounds,
yeah. I mean, you saw Micah Parsons and got him.
Mm-hmm.
You saw CeeDee Lamb and got him. You know, There were times where it would have been the flashy pick, Johnny football. I mean, there's that time, and you thought, oh, my God, he's going to do it. He's going to pick this guy just to sell tickets and not to win. And he didn't do it. He passed on him. And then he went first 3 picks, looking at it right now, Caleb Downs, Malachi Lawrence, Jashawn Barham. I'm sure I'm butchering that name. 3 defensive dudes. You got your corner or your safety and 2 edge rushers. So they're clearly they understand, which is very refreshing. They understand what the problem
where the need was
and what the need was, and they've addressed it. I think Caleb Downs is an immediate impact type guy.
Yeah.
We'll see what these other guys look like. LT Overton, too, from Alabama. I think that now if the defense can be better, they got to stop something. They couldn't stop nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't stop. I'm trying to find the clever analogy, but it didn't matter how good statistically and analytically the offense was, even when hurt. They could score. It was just so bad. You just knew they're just going to go down and take the lead again because they couldn't stop anybody. If they can stop somebody, if they can make some stops, I could easily see 10 wins, 11 wins.
That's pretty good. In that division, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. What about your Stillman? What do you think?
I think we're going to have 10 or 11 wins. I do. I don't think they've got I don't think their division is near what it used to be. I know that Skinny's big on the Bengals. I don't think the Bengals are. You talk about a bad defense, and it just got worse. They just let Hutchinson go.
Yeah.
So, I'm not scared of the Bengals at all. If Burrow stays healthy, then good for them. But they've got, they got to stop you too. So I haven't really looked at Pittsburgh's schedule, to be honest. But
8.5 wins according to Vegas. That's the over/under.
Wow,
8.5. Both MGM and both for the other major one. 8.5 wins. Now, by comparison, AFC North has Ravens at 11.5, Bengals at 9.5, and Browns at 5.5.
That doesn't help that we got to go to Gillette Stadium to play the Patriots. That's not good. Yeah, we got a pretty tough schedule. Bills at the Bills. My goodness. And the Bucks at Raymond James. Man, I tell you what. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty tough schedule. We got to play at the Eagles. My gosh, if we're playing a tough team, we're playing at their stadium. It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible.
That's probably why you're seeing that number. Is the schedule, not because of what they think the team. It's kind of like OU. They got to go to Georgia. They got to go to Michigan. Of course, Texas. Even Mississippi State's never a picnic, and I guarantee you they'll be at night with loud cowbells. So,
yeah,
a lot of people like him right there at 9, but ranked 9th. A lot of coaches do. But I said this earlier in the week. We could talk about that if you want. Is like I was kind of glad that coaches rank these teams on what they think the talent is and not what they think the results of a schedule will be. Mm-hmm. I think OU is a top 10 team, but that top 10 team that might have 3 losses by the end of the year. Because that schedule is a brutal.
Yeah, I mean, do you think there's going to be more than 4 or 5 teams that have fewer than 3 losses? Because I don't.
In the SEC, or what do you mean?
In the country.
The country. What's the question?
How many teams in the top 25
top 20, okay.
will have fewer than 3 losses?
Oh, not a lot. No.
There won't be very many.
No.
Now that all of them are playing 9 league games,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, maybe. Georgia's got a tough schedule.
Well, including OU, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If OU can figure out their offense, I think they have a chance in that Georgia game because Georgia, last year's problem, they could not rush the quarterback. Mm-hmm. So they could figure out how, if the offensive line is better, that might not be an issue for them.
We ought to be better.
Athens. So I'm interested. So what do you think about the poll, the coaches poll, preseason poll?
I saw that OU was 9th, but I did not see much of the poll.
So look it up if you want. I can for you. we were like who was too high, who was too low, and some people, everything I won't say they're high. So it's Ohio State 1. We'll kind of slowly go down it. Ohio State 1, Oregon 2, Georgia 3, Texas 4, Notre Dame 5. Your defending champs Indiana at 6. Your runners-up Miami at 7. A&M 8, OU at 9, and rounding up the top 10 is Ole Miss. Where's Alabama, you say? They're at 11. Where's LSU? They're at 13. How about Michigan, future opponent for OU? 16.
Michigan at 16. Mm-hmm. Wow. What is that? I guess they're putting a lot of stock in the quarterback, the young quarterback there. Who took the head coaching job at Michigan? I can't remember.
Whittingham from Utah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he'll do a great job.
They needed a stable dude.
Yeah.
That's what they needed.
No, that's a fantastic hire for them.
Yep.
But, yeah, no, you look at that list. First of all, I'm not putting Indiana anywhere other than number 1 until somebody shows that they can beat it.
You approach it the same way I do. Is you're wearing the crown until somebody beats you.
Signetti.
Yeah. But there's the question of quarterback. Is Hoover going to be Mendoza?
I couldn't care less what the question is at quarterback. Signetti 2 years ago was incredible with a bunch of guys from James Madison.
Right.
Last year he wins a national championship with only 2 recruiting seasons under his belt at a Big Ten school, and now he's got another year, and you're telling me that they're not going to be the favorite for the season? I'm picking Signetti until somebody takes him down.
So in their defense, they did get the second most first-place votes behind Ohio State. Of course, Ohio State's number 1. They had 38 first-place votes. Indiana got 14.
And with Oregon's exactly opposite. Until Oregon proves that they can make it through the season, then don't tell me how good they are.
A lot of this is returning talent. Julian Sayre coming back for Ohio State. Smith, the wide receiver, who's actually kind of my Heisman pick at this moment.
Yeah.
I think this. I don't know. I think he's going to have a big year. But if he's having a big year, Sayre is throwing it to him, so he might get the. They kind of cannibalize each other. I've always seen that too. But anyway, that's why a lot. And then of course Oregon returning their quarterback. They returned a lot of guys.
How many teams in that top 10 do you see not having 3 losses? That there's no way you could see them having 3 losses.
Not having 3 losses?
Yeah.
I'm counting. Because I've already done
first
some
of all, somebody's going to lose between Ohio State and Texas in the second game of the year. And so whichever team loses that game, I could see them losing 3. You see what I'm saying?
Not having 3 losses, I go about – I'm at 7 right now.
You're at 7?
That do not have 3 losses?
Yeah. I wonder does Miami
I know
play?
You like Indiana, but I think Ohio State gets them this year. I think Oregon can avoid 3 losses. I think Georgia can avoid 3 losses. I think Texas can avoid 3 losses. Yes, I know Ohio State, Texas play each other. Notre Dame, they got it tougher than what it looks like on paper schedule. They do play BYU this year, you know that? But there's a lot of people like Notre Dame as your national title winners, and there they are at 5. Listen, I know you like. I know what you're saying about.
I didn't realize Miami Notre Dame was in week 10.
Yeah,
that
kind of replaces the USC game on Notre Dame's schedule.
Yeah,
which makes sense. I like that because there's always been kind of that rivalry with Notre Dame and Miami when they did that back in the late 80s.
It was a great rivalry.
Yeah. So I like that replacement.
And who's USC anyway?
Well, where is USC?
Where is USC?
They are
14th.
14, yeah.
Wow.
And a lot of people like them as a dark horse playoff team.
So I could see Miami because they've got a fairly weak schedule compared. Whoever wins between Ohio State and Texas, I'll say that they're going to have less than 3 losses. Georgia will have less than 3. I could see 5 of those teams quite easily having less than 3 losses. But that's my point. I mean, there's not very many teams in the top 25. I think that the teams now, it's just every week you got to be ready, and college football has changed. You're not going to roll out your third string if you're Oklahoma, Ohio State, Miami. You're not going to roll out your third string to get ready to play. Even at SMU.
Yeah, there's no rest.
You know?
Yeah. So I know you got to go, but who's ranked too high in your eyes?
Who's ranked too high? Like I said, Oregon's going to have to prove to me that they can make it through a season and look as stellar at the end of the season as they have at the beginning. I get it. They had a nice run in the playoffs, but they faltered several times last year coming down the stretch. They had a brutal time with Iowa. So Oregon's got to prove themselves to me, and the same thing with Texas A&M. They're going to have to prove themselves to me also. I'm not going to believe in A&M until A&M shows me who they can be.
I agree with A&M. A little too high. Everyone's saying Georgia's too high at 3. I could easily get on board with that, but only drop them like the 4.
Yeah.
There's all this love for Texas, but then coaches think, well, they're just the 4th best team.
No offense to Ole Miss, but I'm not putting Ole Miss ahead of LSU.
You're not?
No, I would not.
Even though Trinidad Chambliss still there.
I don't care. I don't care. I think Lane Kiffin is the magic. And sorry, Tyler, if you're listening, I hope you are listening. I think Ole Miss is gonna start to falter.
So
we'll see what happens.
So you think A&M's maybe too high at 8?
I know A&M's too high at 8.
So is Oklahoma too high at 9, or should they be higher?
No, I think Oklahoma's a better team than A&M.
Oklahoma's good right where they're at.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma's in a pretty good spot. I mean, you know
who I would switch?
You have a major leader returning at quarterback who before he got injured looked fantastic.
Yep.
No, I don't see how that's a stretch.
I would switch, and this goes against what you just said, but I would flop around. Shoot, I would put Ole Miss 8. I like Chambliss.
Okay. All right.
I'd keep Oklahoma at 9. I'd put Alabama at 10.
And drop A&M out of the out of the top 10.
A&M's dropping for me. LSU at 11. And there I'd find somewhere for A&M around with Tech. I think that's where they're at.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what do I know? I'm just a coach. I
think that's a pretty good stretch.
The coaches know what they're talking about.
I think that's a pretty good stretch.
Me and Aaron were wondering what's the Bay People going to look like compared to this one. We both said we wish this poll, and the AP poll came out on the same day. So one doesn't have to look at the other.
Yeah, that's
try
a
to
great
adjust
point.
And then see what that exactly looked like. Hey, the media thinks this, but the coaches think that, and there's no persuasion one way or the other. But usually it's a little similar with some changes. But the Ohio State thing was a little shocking. Not shocking, just what's shocking was the first time they've been preseason number 1 since like 2015, which is kind of crazy to think. But everything I heard all offseason long was 2 teams, Texas and Notre Dame. And I kept thinking Texas is going to be preseason 1 and Ohio State 2, and it's going to set up this amazing game, right?
Yeah.
And then there's going to be like Notre Dame around 3 or 4. And there's Texas at 4 and Notre Dame at 5. I thought that was a little head-scratching.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, you're a busy guy.
Yeah.
You're a busy guy. Tell us about it.
Got things to do. Getting together with people, taking a look at what they have, making what they have work as efficiently for them as we possibly can. Looking at your insurance, saying, hey, we're putting an awful lot of money into these insurance products. Is that keeping you from preparing for retirement? So things like that. If you've bought a product that you're not feeling like maybe it's performing the way that you felt it should perform, bring it down. Let's take a look. Bring down some of your statements. Let's take a look and go over what you got, and I'll give you my opinion. We can go from there.
Very good. You're at 124 North Main Street right here in now beautiful downtown Elk City.
Yeah.
821-1219.
Hey, football boys, stay cool out there while you're practicing.
Oh, please.
High school
No
kids,
joke.
my gosh, it's going to be brutal.
No joke. I think most have been practicing in the morning.
Oh, jeez.
No, I know I've heard one coach in the area, I can't remember who it was, say they chosen to practice at night. Turn the
Yeah.
lights on and just
Not a bad
do it at
idea.
night.
But it was 90 degrees last night when I was
Yeah.
in my backyard working.
Yeah.
That was
And
after the sun went down.
What's crazy, so like everyone's like moving the turf. I know Clinton and Weatherford are on turf.
Oh, and that turf is hot.
That turf gets hot.
Yes.
Hot. So
Yeah.
man, take care of yourself.
Yep.
If you're out there wearing the pads, and be safe. Speaking of high school football, that's what I'm going to talk about coming up next. Kind of give a quick look at 4A1 and the surrounding area and the state. We'll have a little fun with it too about tough places to play in the state of Oklahoma. If you had to win one game, a must-win game to get into the playoffs or win your district, or maybe it's a playoff game, where don't you want to play? I'll give you my thoughts coming up. It's the Skinny on Sports on 98.1 FM, 1240 AM, KADS, the Sports Animal.
Hello, my name is Scott Garrison. You may remember me as Scott the Barber or just as Ron and Carla's son. I've been involved in our community since opening Scott's Barbershop on the southeast corner of 3rd and Main in 1998. Now I'm back in the same building as Garrison Financial. I started investing in my 20s. I invested through the dot-com crash and the Great Recession. I started caring for other people's money in 2018, and I truly enjoy sitting down with my clients, understanding their wants and needs as well as what keeps them up at night. Whether my friends just want me to invest a little of their savings or want me to work with their tax and legal professionals to strive towards optimal efficiency, we can do it all. I believe communication is key to helping my clients reach their goals. For if we are faithful over a few things, we shall be given more. Contact me at scott@soonerwealth.com. Securities offered through registered representatives of Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a broker-dealer member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Garrison Financial and Cambridge are not affiliated. This communication is strictly intended for individuals residing in the states of Colorado, Nevada, Oklahoma, and Texas. No offers may be made or accepted from any resident outside the specific states referenced. Cambridge does not offer tax and legal advice.
The Skinny on Sports.
But is having this minor skill worth being so unattractive? That's for the fan to decide. Yay!
Welcome back, Skinny on Sports on 98.1 FM, 1240 AM, KADS, the Sports Animal. Jared Atha sitting in today for Aaron. Aaron taking a vacation, much deserved, well-deserved vacation, and going to cooler parts. I'm so jealous of that fact because it's going to be a hot one today, hot one this weekend too. So it's a great day or a great weekend, either to be in a pool, in some shade, watching some sports, or just staying inside and checking out some sports. Man, speaking of sports, we are 3 weeks away, for most of us, for kicking off the high school football season. I know Elk City 3 weeks away from today. They host Shawnee, which, by the way, and we'll really tackle in, pardon the pun, on high school football and do preview. Me and Aaron will when that time comes. But man, kudos to Coach Hunt and Coach Maynard and all of them for scheduling games like this. We've been really fortunate, I would say, for getting some cool, unique games. Of course, Pampa, Texas, Canadian Texas. We'll have Childress, Texas coming up this season, and this now we get Shawnee, which we all know about Shawnee out of 5A. They've had their success in the past, produced some great players, and playing Carl Albert, not being scared to play some teams like that too in the past. So it's really cool. It's not just stuck in a rut kind of scheduling. It reminds me of how kind of like OU and OSU's schedule. They go and find those unique games, those fun games, those those traditional perennial powers, traditional winning teams, not just here but in or outside of the state too. So kudos to Coach Hunt and Coach Maynard and everybody involved getting games like that scheduled. Really excited about the upcoming football season. It's been on my mind, obviously. I mean, we had preseason NFL last night, and we'll have more of those coming up between. It's going to wet our whistle before we really kick off this season. In my mind, in my eyes, the football season really kicks off on the 28th at Big Elk Stadium. And across Western Oklahoma, there's some really good teams I think we'll have out here in Western Oklahoma. So, I just thought I'd really quickly give some quick thoughts on maybe what we can expect coming up in the area and then throughout the state, then have some fun a little bit later. But I'll start in 4A, Elk City, beginning their season in 3 weeks with Shawnee. What's Elk City going to look like under head coach Zach Maynard? It's been very steady, which is, and I say steady meaning steady winning, steady playoff appearances, of course, deep playoff runs. A couple years ago, and looking to return to that. And I think with the way this district lines up, Elk City has a great opportunity to do that. Elgin, of course, is gone. They've moved up to 5A again, and that leaves us as a 7-team district that consists, of course, Elk City, Clinton, Weatherford, along with Woodward, Bethany, Cache, and Douglas. That's a very winnable district. Very winnable district for, I would say, about 5, maybe 6 teams out of it. The real question is, there could be a couple of teams left out of the playoffs that are still pretty good. That's the question. Who are the playoff contenders out of this district? Of course, your all eyes usually start right here at the trio: Clinton, Elk City, Weatherford, in any order right there. Then who's that 4 spot could be? When you add a district with Bethany's they've I wouldn't say have gone down, but maybe they've plateaued a little bit. They are a team that you think, or a program that you think, well, they could be down this year. Then they go and they beat somebody like Jones. What was that, last year or a couple years ago? That kind of got everybody's attention. What will they look like? Cache too, a team that's been up and down, but we know we've seen them produce some athletes. They snuck some wins out last year that maybe some thought they couldn't have done. And then you got Woodward that's have given some people some battles trying to get back into their winning ways. And then, of course, Douglas. I've always said Douglas, you never know. You never know about Douglas, where they're located, who they've got to transfer in. There's always those opportunities in the metro if you can attract some players to come in to your school without having to pack a box and move from your home to go to another home. That's always there with the open transfer, and Douglas being in the Oklahoma City metro. And Douglas can produce some athletes. So it's a district that there's some unknowns there. There is some other some things that we do know about. We know exactly what we're going to get out of Elk City. We're going to get tough-nosed football. Also over in Weatherford. Another one of those unknowns is Clinton. New head coach over in Clinton, Trevor Powers. Everywhere he's gone, when they made that hire, I kind of went, he's a young guy, very energetic, very positive. I've met with him and talked with him before, the past, way back when he was still with Sayre. Did some interviews with him, struck up, stayed connected on Facebook and followed his career. Goes up to hooker and has a lot of success. I think a couple of state runner-ups up in the Panhandle. And then, of course, he took a job over in Liberal, Kansas last year. Stayed there 1 year. And from all the interviews I've seen from him, and maybe we can get him on the show in the future, is that he just missed the state of Oklahoma. Saw the opportunity to come to Clinton, and he's brought some coaches with him, retained some coaches on that staff, so there'll be some familiarity. But from everything I'm hearing, the offense is going to look different. The defense is going to be very tough. But what's it going to look like under first-year head coach over at Clinton, Trevor Powers? He looks like a young guy, and he looks like a greenhorn, but I promise you he's not. He's a very, very smart guy when it comes to football. But there is some unknowns there with Clinton as they move on from Coach Higbee now over to Coach Trevor Powers. What would that look like in his first year? Are they contenders in District 1? I think they are. I think Elk City is. I think Weatherford is. And I think Cache and Bethany is too, and not in any order. That's what I'm talking about. There's going to be maybe a team or even two that could be pretty good or pretty decent in another district that they could be a playoff team. But 4A1, I think looks kind of top heavy, in my opinion. Hey, who are your district contenders? Let me know on the text line, and I'll definitely talk about it. Rest of 4A. I've heard people say that some think that the rest of 4A in football is wide open because Elgin is gone. Elgin's been so dominant. I kind of disagree with that. I think this is Tuttle and everybody else. Tuttle, a machine that is rolling right now comfortably in 4A where they want to be, and probably feeling pretty good that they see Elgin move on. Elgin, that uber talented team that those two teams have gone up against in the last couple of years for a state title. But after that, though, that's where I think it is really, really wide open. Outside of District 1, I mean, if we're going to call us state title contenders in District 1, there could be 3 of them. I think it could be Clinton, Elk City, Weatherford. I really do. If things shake out the right ways, where they finish in their district and how they are, how the bracket looks come playoff time. Where's Wagner going? What direction is Wagner going in? And Coach Condit's gone. Last year, kind of a struggle season for Wagner in their first year without him. Can they refine that Bulldog identity that they've had that has made them successful for the better part of a decade. I feel like Fort Gibson is a really good team that could be on their way back. I forget his name, but a young man that's committed, I believe, to OU on the offensive line. Just a stud of an athlete. That's in the same district as Wagner. Grove in that district. That's a tough district, too. When I talk about tough districts in District 1 and 4A, District 3, Fort Gibson, Cushing, Grove, Wagner. So that's a district to keep an eye on. Does Wagner want to let go of that power grip that they've had on that district, or is someone else really wanting to take it? And let's keep an eye on that one. District 4 looks fun, too. Some heavy hitters in that one. I think that is incredibly top-heavy with Atha and Broken Bow right up there. Broken Bow is a really good team last year. Of course, we all know about Atha and the way they can win some football games. That's a good district, too, or a couple teams right there. So some other teams to kind of keep an eye on in 4A throughout the area. Now, locally, back outside of 4A, some local teams. I really like the way Sayre had they have an upward trajectory. This is what I wrote down when I was taking my notes here. I think they have this upward trajectory. The Sayre Eagles do. They've been playing really good football lately. And that's a tough district to do that in, too. Teams like, I say tough for many reasons. One, tough teams, of course. Two, a lot of travel in this District 1 and Class A1. You're looking at Hooker, and I don't know the schedule that Sayre has, so I don't know where they're going. But, these are the district that'll be here for this year and next year, so it will eventually have to happen where they have to travel, or somebody's going to have to travel a lot of miles in some odd year. But you go to Hooker, playing teams like Hooker and Tonkawa, Watonga, Fairview, Crescent. That's Hinton. That's a tough district right there. And of course, Merritt's just right down the road for Sayre, but I think Sayre is a team that has this upward trajectory about them, and I'm really interested to see what they look like this year, especially in that district. How about Mangum? Mangum was district champs last year, had a good playoff run for them. Can they continue to win and capitalize on last year's success? I don't know without looking who they retained off of that team, but they are in a district without Thomas, who's moved down to Class A2 in District 1, so now it looks like a very winnable district for Mangum in a district that consists of Comanche and Frederick and Luther, Minco, Stratford, Walters, and Wynnewood. To me, maybe Frederick, maybe Minco. My limited knowledge on the smaller classes, but I do know that Mangum is a really, really good team. And I was wondering, I think his name, I'm going to have to look up the coach's name, but, when coaches' jobs come open, when there's available jobs in some larger schools, Sam Powers, I knew it was on the tip of my tongue. So when I saw the Clinton job come open, my immediate thought was who around Western Oklahoma has done really, really good, and maybe at a smaller school that might look to get to a larger school, and especially a school like Clinton. I thought Sam Powers' name might come up. Obviously I'm from Clinton, so I was putting my feelers out there, asking maybe, and I don't know. I think he likes where he's at, and I'm surely, and obviously I think Mangum really likes him to be right there too. He's done really, really well. And so have the Mangum Tigers. And so I'm interested to see, can they capitalize on last year's success? And speaking of Thomas, I mentioned them. I'm interested to see what they look like in A2. They're in District 1 along with Southwest Covenant, a school out of the Oklahoma City or Yukon area. They're right out of Yukon. Moreland is always a team that they have a great tradition. They've been down the last couple of years. But, it's like sleeping giant stuff. You're not going to keep them down for long. Hobart, same thing. Also in a district with Carnegie. Apache has been good in the past, and Empire, too. So what's Thomas look like in that district in Class A2? And are they a contender in Class A2? As I look across the rest of A2, I don't see why not. I really don't. I think that's I think Thomas could probably go in as one of the favorites, if not the favorite, in Class A2 going into the upcoming season. Tell you what, we'll take a break. I got a fun topic I want to talk about coming up in our final segment. It's about high school football, but it's about toughest places to play in high school football. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about schools and stadiums locally that are tough and maybe statewide too. Keep it right here. It's a Garrison Financial Friday right here on the Skinny on Sports. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, my name is Scott Garrison. You may remember me as Scott the Barber or just as Ron and Carla's son. I've been involved in our community since opening Scott's Barbershop on the southeast corner of 3rd and Main in 1998. Now I'm back in the same building as Garrison Financial. I started investing in my 20s. I invested through the dot-com crash and the Great Recession. I started caring for other people's money in 2018, and I truly enjoy sitting down with my clients, understanding their wants and needs as well as what keeps them up at night. Whether my friends just want me to invest a little of their savings or want me to work with their tax and legal professionals to strive towards optimal efficiency, we can do it all. I believe communication is key to helping my clients reach their goals. For if we are faithful over a few things, we shall be given more. Contact me at scott@soonerwealth.com. Securities offered through registered representatives of Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a broker-dealer member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Garrison Financial and Cambridge are not affiliated. This communication is strictly intended for individuals residing in the states of Colorado, Nevada, Oklahoma, and Texas. No offers may be made or accepted from any resident outside the specific states referenced. Cambridge does not offer tax and legal advice.
The Skinny on Sports.
This is one of the most awesome experiences of my life because I'm getting to drop a race out. I can't believe it.
Welcome back. Wrapping up a Garrison Financial Friday on the Skinny on Sports. Jared Atha with you. Thanks again to Scott Garrison, always helping us out with our Fridays, helping me out earlier, and helping us out, helping you out. Full financial planning. You could shop the open market to bring the best value of life insurance and investments. He can manage your investments or charge hourly to build a plan for you. Most of all, he likes to work with you, the clients and the accountants, to streamline tax ramifications and returns. Scott@soonerwealth.com. That's his email. That's easy to remember. Scott@soonerwealth.com. 124 North Main, right here in Elk City. Call him up, 821-1219. Staying with high school football. Now we talked, I did a quick little synopsis of the upcoming season. And again, me and Aaron will really, really dive in to the upcoming football season here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, we're going to have Coach Maynard on, I'm sure. We're going to have maybe a couple players on and maybe some other coaches in the area too, and help us preview the upcoming football season, which I am very, very excited about. Also, I'm excited about the travel for Elk City. I mentioned, hold on. I knew I had it. The schedule right behind me. I'm excited about the travel season, the upcoming season for Elk City football. Of course, starting this season, hosting Shawnee, and then the next week, quick turnaround, 6-day turnaround, Thursday night game against Atha because of the rodeo, of course. And Labor Day weekend, which I enjoy. I'm going to get Friday off, go to rodeo, enjoy the Labor Day weekend, get Monday off too. First road game on the 11th, September 11th at Childress, Texas. I've never been to Childress, Texas. Of course, Aaron's been to Childress, Texas because of basketball, but not because of football. Looking ahead when we do this, we get the schedule. We look, okay, where are we going? And we do it selfishly because we're like, okay, how do we broadcast from there? What's the setup going to be like? And looking at Childress, Texas, their stadium looks really cool. It looks like it was built looks like an old stadium, and that's not a knock. That's not a dig. But it looks like it has some modern renovations done to it. I'm excited to check it out. I'm always excited to check out places I've never been. Of course, Elk City off the week after that. They start district play hosting Cache. It's going to be a big district game because you want to start off on the right foot, and it's good that they get it at home. Cache, one of those teams that could be on the up. We'll keep an eye on that one and can't wait for that one. Over at Woodward on October 2nd, rivalry game hosting Weatherford. And then in Oklahoma City, taking on U.S. Grant. I believe that's at Spiegel Stadium. That's a Thursday night game, October 15th. Douglas, away back in Oklahoma City on the 23rd of October, hosting the Clinton Red Tornadoes on the 30th. By that point, that's the second to last game of the year. And it could be, who knows, for the district, for a playoff spot. Who knows? So that game looms large by the end of the season, and then on the road back in Oklahoma City in Bethany, which I thought was funny with the way the schedule sets up. 3 games. The last 3 away games are in the metro, or in the Oklahoma City area. U.S. Grant at Spiegel Stadium, Douglas at their home stadium on the east side of Oklahoma City, and then Bethany, of course, at Southern Naz. That's going to be a fun schedule. Can't wait for it. Can't wait to kick it off. And talking about going to places, I got kind of thinking about, what are some tough places to go play at. Now, I mentioned that Clinton game. I'm glad that's a home game for Elk City because of everything I said. You want those big games to be at home and make it a tough environment to be in, because if that was at Clinton, that'd be hard. And that's what got me thinking, like, what are some tough games in the area that or tough locations, tough stadiums in the area that if you had to win one game, you had to win a game to either win the district title or make the playoffs, what's a place you do not want to go to? I put Tornado Bowl right at the top of the list for obvious reasons. It's just something about that place. I've seen, personally growing up in Clinton, I've seen some really, really good teams come to Clinton for everything I just said. I've seen multiple district championship games in the Tornado Bowl against some really good teams. Star Spencer, I remember one year. I think that was 2000 season. Star Spencer, uber athletic, got off the bus, ready to go. It's like as soon as they got off the bus, they lost because they walked into the Tornado Bowl. They saw the C on the helmet, the atmosphere, the smells, the sound, all of it, and Clinton won that game in a rout. And I've seen a lot of teams, good teams, including good Elk City teams, just recently go to Clinton thinking we're going to catch Clinton when they're down a little bit and come up short. That's a tough place to play. Another tough place to play, staying in Custer County locally, I think Thomas is a tough place to play. I wish I had home records for both Clinton and Thomas and Weatherford, because those are 3 perennially good football teams, and they're all in Custer County, and when they play at home, they're hard to beat. I'll even throw Weatherford in there too. But Thomas, though, you go out there to Thomas, that district that they're in, they're going to kind of have a culture shock. Like the boys from Southwest Covenant, if they play at Thomas this year, driving maybe through Weatherford and then going up 54 and go, where is this place? And then boom, there's Thomas, and everybody's there to root against you. And it's not easy to go to Thomas and win. Same thing about Mangum. I've been to Mangum. I've seen a game over at Mangum. That stadium is cool. Older feel to it, WPA type feel to it, kind of like the Tornado Bowl. And the paint job on the field alone just gets you excited if you're a traditionalist and just love high school football. Mangum is a tough place to play. I think Fairview is a place I've been to, a tough place to play. They've won a state title recently. Another tough place to play. I've never been, but I want to see it. And a lot of tradition down in Hollis, Oklahoma. I think Hollis, I've heard, is a really, really tough place to play if you're playing football and needing that one win. Statewide, there's some obvious ones here, like Carl Albert. I wouldn't want to be at Carl Albert if in a must-win game situation. A lot of tradition there. You just look up and see all the state title years on their press box. They're running out of room on the press box, by the way, to put state title banners on. Bixby has turned into a really tough, almost like a mini college, kind of like Broken Arrow. Really huge fan base. Never easy to go there. I'm not just talking about their recent winning ways. I think it's the stadium has something to do with it too. Jinx is a traditional type stadium that's been around for a long time, and we all know Jinx success too. And the same can be said about Tulsa Union. Tuttle, that with what they've done recently, they've been in the same stadium forever. I've been to that stadium before the renovations and after the renovations. It's unrecognizable. You don't realize you're at the same place, but you know you are because it's just right there in the middle of town. But Tuttle, not a lot of times arms races work or facility races work in the high school level. It works at Tuttle. The money and the donations that they've got in put in that facility, again, mini college is the term I'll use here. It is fantastic and, again, tough to play. And so is Atha. Now, I get Atha shares a stadium. I almost disqualified them because I've seen this list come up before about the greatest football schools in Oklahoma and stuff that disqualified some schools, and one of them was sharing stadiums with colleges. Atha shares a stadium with ECU, but you wouldn't know it, I don't think. Yes, it's on the ECU campus, but right there in Atha. It feels like you're at a high school football game. I've been there a couple of times. Most recently was at the 2020 season where everybody it was that maybe before. I can't remember, but going down to Atha, a little bit of a trip, especially if you're in the playoffs, but we went down to Ardmore last year, but you go in there, you're at Atha, and you're playing the Atha Cougars. That is a tough place to play. And again, if it's a must-win, it's a place you kind of want to avoid. So that's just some stuff that came in my mind about high school football stadiums. I'd love to get Aaron in here and get his thoughts on that as well. Hey, guys, I got to wrap it up and get on out of here. Big thank you to Scotty G helping me out. Big thank you to you to listening on in. I'll be back Monday, and who knows? I think I might have a guest. I haven't been able to make contact yet with this mystery guest, but I will. And we'll have a good time on Monday. Have a good weekend. Stay cool out there. Cross your fingers we get some rain. I know it's in the forecast. You never know. I'm out of here. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Friday. You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports on 98.1 FM, 1240 AM, KABSD Sports Animal.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available. Thanks for listening.
That ball is blistered